Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And today's video is a video, I'm not gonna lie, that I didn't expect to be making anytime soon, if ever. But Call of Duty has finally spoken about skill-based matchmaking in its games, and is kind of like going to give us more information as we go along. So I'll talk about that more in today's video, but enjoy this gameplay in the background, of course. Nice little MW3 gameplay. Of course, MW3 being a pretty notorious game for having some pretty strict skill-based matchmaking. It's been quite rampant, and at the start of this game, I think everyone's been kind of saying that, you know, this game's pretty good, but the skill-based matchmaking kind of ruins it a little bit. And of course, this is me playing the 10v10 playlist to kind of avoid that skill-based matchmaking that is quite strict in this game. But Call of Duty, it just says here, so I've got it here and I'll put it on the screen for you, but Charlie Intel posted this, but for the first time, the Call of Duty team has issued a statement about matchmaking. So they say matchmaking, we of course know they are talking about skill-based matchmaking, and this probably came about, like I said guys, this is why I said you should leave feedback, because even though they didn't answer it in the thing that I was talking about, the Reddit community post that they made, they are addressing it now, okay? It may not have been made in that post, but the amount of uproar, the amount of people asking about skill-based matchmaking this, skill-based matchmaking that, they finally addressed it. And I kind of, like, again, I'm not going to say I expected this. I did not expect this at all. I thought this is something they were going to keep under wraps for a long, long time. And I kind of understand why they would do that, and I'll talk about that more in today's video. But if you guys put it out there, I think this is the kind of change we need. I don't know if this is coming about because of Microsoft or Activision's kind of changing their ways. Whether or not the devs are themselves, like Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward and all that, are coming together to say, look, we know our fans aren't happy about skill-based matchmaking, let's discuss it with them a little bit so they understand it more. This is great. It's great that we're getting a lot of, I don't know how to put it, like, feedback and a lot more transparency with everything that's being done in the game. Like, we haven't had this sort of communication and feedback in any Call of Duty, really, and it's been great, and this is why I've been a big fan of Sledgehammer. Obviously, this doesn't really come specifically from Sledgehammer, this just says Call of Duty team, so Activision itself. But anyway, I'll post a screenshot on you, but it says, on the screen now, but it says, Max, it has it here, it says, we know there is a lot of interest in the matchmaking experience, especially around how skill contributes to how lobbies and matches are put together. So yes, they are talking about skill-based matchmaking, not just matchmaking in general, they are addressing skill-based matchmaking. Nothing is more important to us than the experience players have with the game, and matchmaking is a big part of that. We've been working on our matchmaking system for well over 10 years, so this isn't just something that came about. This is something that, like, they've developed on for years and years and years, maybe added to it, maybe taken things from it, maybe done a whole lot of things. Obviously, we don't have that information yet, but we will be getting that information, and I'll talk about it in a second. And we continue to spend a ton of time and energy on improving the matchmaking process. This involves people working at our Call of Duty studios, our back-end service teams at Demonware, and other groups like our Player Insights team. It's a large effort that we've worked on for many years, and our approach combines latency, search time, and skill, along with many other factors. So that is a little bit broad. It does say many other factors, but I think we will get this information at some point, but just not yet. I don't think they're ready to share that quite yet, but there is more to it than just the simple latency, search time, and skill. There is more about it. So talking about this topic in detail can be hard, and we haven't spent the time to pull together all of our work to share with you our insights and improvements over the many years. We're looking forward to doing that in the coming weeks after Season 1 launches, and we'll also make it a part of our ongoing discussions with the community, the Call of Duty team. So it just says the Call of Duty team. Again, I don't know if that means Activision. I don't know if that means Sledgehammer, the ones who obviously have developed that model for free. You know, we're along with like Treyarch and that a little bit, but it is mainly Sledgehammer's game. It just says the Call of Duty team. So maybe they're all banded together to talk about this. But they're going to give us more information, which is great to hear. And I will remember this. I hope other people do, because it could happen. They could, you know, put out this statement. It's a great PR statement, and then, you know, never ever talk about it again, you know, because of this kind of silences the community. It could happen. I don't think that'll be the case. We have had it in many years where they do things like this, where they like say something, they say, oh, we'll deal with it later, and then don't actually do it. This year feels a little bit different. Every time we've like spoke about something or talked about something, whether it be with Sledgehammer or something to know about the game or that, we've got feedback, we've been given precise answers. Even if it's not the answers we want to hear, we've at least been getting addressed. And it's been nice to see. Like, this is something that I've been like stressing about this game. It's been an overall like positive experience when it comes to feedback and that. We know what we're getting, we know when we're getting things, we don't feel ignored this year. Like, this is a change of things. And again, I don't know if Microsoft has a lot to do with this, because of course Microsoft does own Activision now. There's quite a big change going on here. Like, we haven't seen this sort of feedback and communication in years, and it started with just the release of Modern Warfare 3, and it's even started with things that don't just affect Modern Warfare 3, they affect other Call of Duty games. You know, skill-based matchmaking, of course, affects every Call of Duty title from MW 2019 and Advanced Warfare, of course, but then like Black Ops 3 didn't have it, and then we got it back in MW 2019. But so we're going to get more information now. I'm sure people are going to be like, well, how come we don't get that information now? I can understand why they probably didn't give out this information in the first place. Now, I'm going to be that one to kind of back Activision a little bit here, right? Now, not with the addition of skill-based matchmaking. I'm not a fan of it myself. I do think it needs to be lowered, however. I don't mind it being in the game. It just needs to be not as strict. But I'll defend them a little bit here. Now, no, I'm not trying to get myself invited to a Call of Duty Next event or stuff like that, right? I'm not paid in any way to support Activision. But I want to, like, kind of discuss this because I'm going to talk about it from a company's point of view. Activision, of course, has worked for many years now with this skill-based matchmaking slash, we'll call it, it's not just skill-based matchmaking, it's kind of an algorithm. There is, like, this thing of, like, trying to make you, you know, stay and play the game. It's not, it's an retention-based matchmaking more than anything. I don't know if they'll ever call it that. They'll probably stick with calling it kind of, you know, skill-based matchmaking it themselves. But it is retention-based matchmaking. It is done to keep you playing the game as much as possible. And Activision will have worked on that for many, many years. And they feel, of course, having this in the game helps keep players playing and helps them have more people spending, etc., etc. The reason they won't share this information publicly, or try not to as much as possible, again, I don't think we'll get the absolute ins and outs, but I hope we get some good information that makes a lot of sense. And I think there's two clear reasons why they do this. One is obviously other publishers and developers. You've got people like Apex Legends who do have their own skill-based matchmaking. You've got, what was it? What other games do you have? I'm trying to think now. Like Battlefield, stuff like that. There's loads of other games out there that want to have their own special retention-based matchmaking to keep people playing the game. And Activision, of course, has been spending years perfecting this for their game. They feel they've got it to a point where it feels perfect. You know, they might even be improving it or, you know, making it better for that reason. And, you know, it's going to keep people playing the game. So other companies will want to know, hey, what's in this matchmaking? How come you've got players playing your game? How come people are spending more time playing Call of Duty more than ever? Because that's been proven now with MW3 that more people are playing the game for longer periods of time as well. This is all factual. You can go find this on the internet somewhere, but I've already seen this. But yeah, so they are getting more and more people playing the game, and they're getting more and more people playing the game for longer. So other companies will want that information. They'll want to know, hey, how do we do this? We want this for our game to make our game more popular and make our game have people playing for longer, etc. So that's one reason. And two, the other reason, which I think is also a pretty valid reason, it's not going to like really affect too much, especially now because we know a lot of people do get around the skill-based matchmaking anyway. But the second reason is revealing information about how your skill-based matchmaking works, of course, leads to players and people who play the game trying to find a way around it. Because unfortunately, there are people who do that. They do get around the skill-based matchmaking. And I can understand it. I can get the reason for not wanting to play in, like, you know, pro player lobbies 24/7. But there are people who go above and beyond that and face players that, let's be honest, back in the day when it was just pure connection, they wouldn't have been facing the players they are facing now. They're facing people who literally can't shoot back, and it's like playing recruit bots. Like, I've seen so many triple nuke gameplays, quadruple nuke gameplays. Gameplays that you wouldn't get back in the day because you wouldn't find those players, and you wouldn't try to, of course, because the matchmaking was just so random. You'd get a mixture of like bad players, good players, great players, average players. You'd get all of it. So they wouldn't reveal this information to stop people from, you know, gaming or, you know, ruining the matchmaking and algorithm and finding a way around it. Of course, that has already happened. We've seen so many different methods like connection, you know, VPNs and people two boxing, which is, you know, putting a bot account in and then joining that bot account to get around this system. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited now? Are you happy that Activision / Call of Duty team has finally addressed this? Let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.